Hi, and welcome back to my next stream. I'm Chaos to the power of 10, and we will play Roadwarden. Hi Carol, hi. How's you? And yes, 12 weighted blankets are quite heavy. Last time, I can remember we learned that the arrows that are on the maps will fast travel us to the last point of that map part. That was unfortunate because suddenly it was night and we couldn't rest. We haven't had a heart. We don't have a heart anymore, right? We still didn't heal. And we do not know how we heal. So, yeah. Then I can remember that we talked to the mayor of the city that should help defeat the vagabond. the thieves? Not quite thieves. They are attacking people on the streets. There we go. And I can remember that we went to the abandoned city again. And there is a man in there that smells horrible. And I can remember he has not an arrow and bow, but similar. The one that shoots on its own. I'm doing good. I had a test today, but I'm home the rest of the week to study for the big test next week. Magnus will be here later. He works until 8:45. Meh. But okay. Money is money. Good feeling about the test? I hope you did. I guess you did well. Cannot imagine. Wait. What is it? What are the tests about? If you want to tell, of course. Because as far as I know, you are learning Swedish, right? So both tests are about Swedish, right? Like writing and reading text. Bad feeling about the test. I'm pretty sure I did the biggest section wrong. Oh. Well, maybe the small sections around it will help. I guess they cannot tell you that like one big section will mess everything up. That would be weird. It was a grammar test. Oh, grammar is always in every language. Grammar is the worst part, I have the feeling. Next to learning all the words, of course, but you know. In the countryside, spirits are believed to be centuries-old creatures. They are seen as part of the wilderness who punishes those opposing the nature's natural order. Oh yeah, we also learned about the tree. First of all, I can remember in the city, the mayor was weird. I thought she was weird. She wants us to spy for her at the other cities. And I can remember that she is rich and everyone around her is kinda poor. So that's confusing. Even though she's caring for all the orphanages children. Maybe they make them work for her, so she keeps the money but the children work. I don't know, but they also have like kind of a ritual at the tree. It gives them good fortune, as far as I can remember. The dense smell of urine hits you with full force, while the tools and utensils are hard to distinguish from the rubbish. The route to the upper floor is blocked by the collapsed roof and loose wooden beams. There are scraps of rusting iron and steel on the ground, detached from now destroyed barrels. The scavenger He's sitting on a blanket in front of the tent, pointing at the floor with his loaded crossbow, that one. Not a short man, though a bit skinny. He's tanned, dark-haired, and has seen his share of struggle. There are long claw scars on his left cheek, and another one that would divide his eyebrow in half if it hadn't been consumed by a fire, just like the rest of his forehead. His clothes are untainted by vanity. He's barefoot in a dirty linen shirt with rolled-up sleeves and simple pants that use a cord for a belt. His long beard and hair are untrimmed and tangled. Yeah, and we still don't have a heart. I don't know. We are on the verge of death, and still we are here. I sit on a stair with raised hand. I'm not a threat. I stand near the door watching his weapon. I'm prepared. Nah, just sit down. You wipe the dust off the steps, but before you sit down, you hear the man's annoyed voice. Now don't get too homey. It's the only place here that's not just ashes and debris, and I'm not sharing it. Ye better right ahead. I already piled up whatever hasn't rotten. The candle lights are dancing on his burned face and arms. He moves his crossbow just enough to make sure he won't shoot you by accident. I saw your horse. Maybe ye could help me, What are ya looking for in this place? Ye don't sound like you're from the north. I want to make sure there are no undead crawling around. I need to get to know the peninsula if I'm going to patrol it. I'm short on dragon bones. I wanted to see if there were anything left behind. I was wondering what caused this place to collapse. I have heard about some bandits. They could have a hideout nearby. I'm looking for another Roadwarden, a man named Astarion. I shrug. That's not your problem. Somewhere between this one and this one. I'm asking him about, well, I tell him about the peninsula. Then better stay away from the eastern path. No shell rides there anyway. Bevan, the rest, and the coast have roads like moose crab? I have traveled and paddled for years now, I wait for some group to join. And here, people don't travel or know damn anything about any place. Just a waste of time, I'll tell you. A long pause. Listen, he scratched his thighs nervously. I'm hungry, so damn hungry. I can't hunt or fish with all the ape men around. Can you share anything? Roadster, I may be a drifter. Bill wouldn't beg if I had not lost my bags on the road. Take the cereals and crackers. With some water you will have a gruel. I'm sorry I don't have anything. Well, we are full and I can remember that we have 5 food. We can share. Food is not my problem. My problem is hearts. You gave away 2 food rations. Ha! Ye say so, but ye don't know my dearth? He bites into the sausage right away, but after a couple of solid bites, he puts your gift on an unfolded tunic that's lying on the floor. Without ya, I would have to run after birds with my ballista. What is BL? Bill? But I will? I guess but I will need to save the bowls for the ape men, and because of those stinkers I can't roast here, and raw meat makes me want to puke. Thank ye. After a moment of hesitation he grabs one of the plums. Now, roaster, he says with a full mouth, if you have questions, ask. I will say a lot to make ye get me out of here. Oh, you want to get out of there? I should ask him what he wants. Where do you want to travel to now, and what will you give me for my help? Let me explain first. I was in Howlersdale, the closest village to the east and north. To the east, okay. And people there are nice, not like old Pegasus. They are all boring and grimmer than a crow. But they cry coin for everything, and damn good coin. I left, wanted to look around the ruins, see if there's anything left. Then moved to Pelt and hire the hunters to help me here. No luck, a bunch of griffs jumped my back packbird. You have a packbird? I just bought it. He spits on the floor, fast and nimble, but not brave enough to listen to me when all that screeching and scratching started. So it ran away with my bags. A few fell on the ground and I pulled them here. Be ye see how it is. I won't travel around with a tent on my back. He taps the crossbow with his fingers. I need maybe a day more. Aye, just a day, and I will have all the iron scrapped from the barrels, so I can move forward. But I will... But I can't take all my stuff alone, and without me around, the ape men are going to break in and steal all my shit. I need to stay here, but since ye have a horse, come back tomorrow and help me return to Howlersdale. How about it? I just need to know what the road is safe as it can be. Okay, what exactly do we want to do? I need ye to make sure there's no danger hiding on the road, from here to Howlers. Or rather, I know there's some danger, but as long as ye can get there and safely return, I'm sure we can handle some roaming monsters. Okay, he theoretically rubs his hand together. This ballista has hit more beast skulls than I have fingers, and I have never lost a finger roaster, only the toes. Maybe to prove it, he starts to count on his fingers. So, see if the road there is clear, then come here tomorrow. We will pack my stuff on your horse and move out. But don't come when it's close to evening. We are going to need 3 hours on our feet, and I won't push through the night. Even sleeping next to an ape-man tribe is safer. He chuckles. And don't make me wait for too long. I can wait for a couple of days if I find some food, but if we don't get back, ye don't get back, I will have to risk it, no matter what. His way of speaking is hard to read for me. Why Howlersdale? If you want to go south, we should travel to Pelt of the North. I see your point, but I have never been there. Can they afford my iron? Do they have means to pay for it? I need coins to find a handy bunch that will walk south with me, and I need a new staff and bowls. I know the village. It's a nice place and even has a smithy of sorts. Howlersdale. Yeah, sure, that we can do that. I had a chance to take a look, though. It's a large inn, a safe one. They seem to be rich and have enough hunters to guide you south. You can use iron to barter. Well, it's a shorter path, I guess. Fewer spots to get surrounded by corpses. If you're sure it's the best option, fine. I will trust the roadster judgment. And I don't work for free, by the way. I have ways to pay ye, don't ye worry. I can give you dragons. But I'll have to sell the iron first, so I will need a bit of time, you see. 5 for a short escort would be plenty, I would say, but if you want, I will give you a secret jar of mine. Secret jar? A very fine mixture that scares ape-men away. Works on pebblers too. When you ask if all this stench of urine is somehow related to this potion, he just winks and chuckles. I'd also like to learn more about the village you visited. Villages. Fine, it's a deal. I'm going to escort you. I would like to learn about the villages. He seems surprised. I mean, sure, but I don't have connections there, you know, just my eyes. He starts to hum. You know, a long pause. When ye get to Howlers, you will meet the mayor there, for sure. Sighs, and whatever you do, don't ask her where she got her coins from, She is rich, stupid rich. I believe we already asked her where she got the coins from. But don't ask her how this happened, trust me. He stretches his beard with a mournful look. Sure, I escort you. This village makes me sick. Why? Me too, in the guts and the thinkers. Gets easier with time if you're patient. Must be the air, the smell of death and apement. He pats his stomach while laughing. Tell me about yourself? He gives you a sullen glance. What for? I've no legacy to keep alive in tales. I may tell ye this and that after you take me out of here. Are you sure there are no undead around? He nods. I have seen none. People say it's been less than 10 years since a herd came here, but I don't know if anyone bothered with raising the pyres. If not, the dead are all roaming in the forest now. He clicks his tongue with frustration. It may be that there's a walker somewhere under the debris, waiting to break through like a dragon in an egg. He looks straight at you. Hey, you'd better not dig. Have you searched the entire village? Are there no hidden treasures left? You came to the wrong place. Time, moisture, and the damn burrowers devoured all the loot. I've been here for a couple of days now, and all that's left is this iron I carried here. I was planning to get back here with some hired muscle and clear the collapsed buildings, but I doubt it's worth the time and risk. Do you have any idea what happened here? Well, I won't guess, but I saw many ruins. There's no treasure and skeletons here, so this place means as much as dirt. Someone was barking too loud, so the beasts broke through and made them quiet again. He clicks his tongue. And that's that. Talking about nature's fury brings bad luck, don't you know? I have heard about some bandits. Have you seen any hideous hideouts nearby? No, I think they are in the north, or east. I stuck to the western road and no shell bothered me. Sorry, can't help you. I look for another Roadwarden, a man named Asterion. I have never met him, but I surely heard this name many times. He vanished long before I got to the coast. At first, people were asking about him. Now they think he's dead. Okay. Your stomach makes you let out a painful groan. Can I wash myself in the river? Still not. I want to open the gate. It may take quite a bit of time, but with the wooden and bone tools you found in one of the buildings, you will speed up your endeavor. Ah. I'm too tired, I cannot. Okay. Good, then let's travel back, I guess. I cannot wash myself here, but I can sleep here. And apparently drink. How much time do I have left? 5 hours before dusk. And after dusk I still have time to travel somewhere. Let's go to the beholder first, I guess. You reach the crossroads. The tree is perfectly still and hasn't changed a bit since the first time you saw it. You hear the sound of a small creature jumping into the water. A small creature? You kneel in front of one that's lying on the shore. It's brown, covered with hair that resembles that on your arm. When you touch it, it's moist, soft, and warmer than you would expect. Yeah. Are you sure that these are branches? It is covered with hair. How is it... I have the feeling they are throwing humans in there and these are like arms or something. You know, sticking out in the hopes of grabbing something before they drown. I do something with it. Poke. Poke. The root is moist, soft, and weirdly warm. Pull? The root doesn't resist your touch and you can easily bend it. You hold it tightly and your hands sink into it like it's a soft pillow. Oh, you feel its warmth. You start to pull, but with little to no effect. No matter how much strength you put into it, it's firmly held by something in the water, properly covered by the swamp's floor. We shouldn't cut it off, I have the feeling. Go to the altar. Oh! The cream-colored limestone is cold and smooth. The tree is perfectly still and hasn't changed a bit since the first time you saw it. No, I don't want to look if there's... I just believe that there is magic in this altar. Do you have any food rations I could buy? That is way too much talk for just, hey, can I buy you food rations? I keep them in the hall. Smoked mutton, a sack of dried fruit, nuts, biscuits. We eat fresh here and pay with work. Coins are worth much. When he thinks, his lips move as well. Let's say 1 ring for enough food to fill you for 2 days. In Holoven, that kind of price would buy you 3, even 4 times as much food. If you're in the mood for spending, I also have something special. Just give me a minute. He goes upstairs and returns with a small wooden box and a hand-long leather See? 'Tis a teeth set. You're afraid of what he's going to show you, but when he opens the box, you realize he meant teeth cleaning. See? He points at 3 different compartments. Salt, cloves, and mint. You mix whatever you want here. The 4th hold only a small pestle made of polished stone. And here are the twigs you need. They will last for months. Seeing you're not convinced, he takes a deep breath. Well, we do let outsiders bathe in our creek, but give me 2 dragons and I will ask my kids to get you in shape. You will get a tub with soap and rose oil, and they will wash your clothes in water. I will cook you something nice and much as you can eat. Yes, please. I need some washing. I want all of them. A teeth cleaning set would help. I can remember if you have 3 things that cleans you, and we already have soap. my money will go into this. You don't keep track of time, easing your soul with warm water and whiffs of oil. You are served 2 boiled eggs, a cup of buttermilk, and some muffin waffles, while the youngsters wash your clothes in the stream. After an hour, you return to Eric's. Do we take the cleaning set? I'm not sure. It would help on the way, though. Okay, fine. Someone dreams of a healthier smile. He rubs his hands. But before you take it, he puts the box in front of you. I've got the hazelnut twigs in the seas, but can replace them in daytime. What tastes are you looking for? Apple tree? Okay, I don't have money anymore, so thanks. Okay, can we wait? No, I cannot. Okay. Let's wait for an hour. Please tell me that I can have a room here. Oh, wait, something happened. It's getting dark and the inn is loud and crowded. The innkeeper lights up the rush lights, the workers drink, and the guards are prepared for the night watch. If it wasn't for the presence of the creek and the uncanny lack of beggars, this place would feel like Hoblivin marketplace. One of the tables is occupied by a dozen or so kids. None of them look older than 12. And the youngest one, too dirty to resemble either a boy or a girl, is about 6. They are surrounded by their playthings, a muffin on wheels and an elegant wooden sword, and a painted board covered with rocks, but they are bored and tired. Even though you only get a glimpse of them, the oldest girl notices your attention. She springs up to her feet and approaches you with a few skips. She's already pretty tall, dressed in a worn, subdued tunic, so long that it looks like a sack. You see, and that's why I don't trust the mayor. The mayor cares for the orphans, and these are, I guess, the orphan group. She is dressed in, like, beautiful gowns and embroidery and all of that. You know, you look at her and you think, ah yeah, this woman has money. And then you have, the youngest who is so dirty you cannot even see the child underneath. And the oldest, or one of the oldest, who has a sack as a dress. Okay? And that's why I don't like the mayor. It would be rude to ignore her. I smile and ask what she needs. She puts her hands together and puts on a grimace of playful misery. Master Roadwarden, hearing such an antique solution, makes it difficult for you to hide your smirk. We here, she points at her group, bored, oh so bored. She puts the back of her hand on her forehead, letting out a deep sigh. Please, Master, tell us a story or two, for each traveler sees with different eyes. The last few words sound like an echo of an old tale. Make room for me at the table. I have the feelings I needed. The children gather around and ask you for a minute for them to gather their friends and siblings. After a bit of chaos, there's 20 young souls sitting close to one another, on benches, stool, and on the ground. The red-haired twins brought a blanket to lay down on. You have a shorter side of the table all to yourself. The older kids understand your lost look in an instant. They start to hush each other, which causes an even greater amount of noise, but in the end there are dozens of eyes staring at you with a mixture of boredom and anticipation. I tell them a tale of my ancestor. I tell them about one of my adventures exactly as it happened. I tell them about one of my adventures, though I spice it up with a couple of small lies. I tell them about Hovleven, its splendor and mysteries. If anyone has questions, I tell them what I know. If I tell them about Hovleven, it could be seen as like influencing the children of the children of the mayor, who we tried to interact because Hovleven wants to be a trading partner to this city and all the other cities on this way. So I tell them about the adventure, but with a little lies. You know, you need to, for children, make it a bit more interesting. The story takes quite a bit of time and at one point gets a bit cruel. The youngest kid covers their eyes, which doesn't block their hearing in any way. As you get to the end, the tension disappears. The oldest kid claps for a bit, keeping their dignity intact, while the younger ones start to laugh and argue loudly about the best part of your tale. For some reason, two of the girls start to wrestle, pretending to be two of the characters that you just portrayed. Seeing this, the adults decide to intervene. You stand up, and the children do the same to show their respect. The girl that had previously talked with you thanks you for your time. Oh, it's nighttime. It was my pleasure. I return to my task. You're in front of the Ape Ale Inn. Hey, innkeeper. What does it mean? Why can I not sleep here? I don't understand. Sleep. Weird. I don't have money. Wait, it takes me away 1 health. It takes away half of my food. And it's oh, I need to sleep in a bed to heal. Huh, this way I get at least some energy. Instead of the I have magic, I need some help. I need some healing. It's a calm, warm night as your first sleep ends. You stretch out and prepare yourself for an active hour or two. It's time to take care of some things that must be done at least once every few days, though they are a bit more challenging than your nightly routine. I gather my amulet and focus on my breath, practicing how the pneuma flows through my shell. Hey, we have some hearts, finally. And we do not leave. We haven't lost a magic thingy, so that's nice. It's warm here, but the muffled skin allows your back to rest a bit. You wake up a couple of times during the night. The smell of the cooked stew fuels your hunger, and the staff return to the room once every hour or so to stir the pot. You wake up early, but leave the building to check up on Apocalypse and give it water from the creek. The innkeeper is sitting near the door, from time to time carrying out another bowl with either stew or gruel. Thais is nowhere to be seen. Where is she the whole time? Okay, now we can return to the guy over here. It's the next day, so it should work, right? I need 2 vitality to work. I mean, fair. I guess. Can I wash here? Yeah, you need 3 pieces of bathing equipment to get more out of this place. Fine. I need 2 vitality to... I need 2 vitality to do anything. How do I heal myself while I'm not... Can I heal myself while I'm not sleeping? Does this mean I have to wait? Sleep. Just to heal? He said he would wait some days. Not too many days, though. The sound of rain wake you up briefly before you return to sleep. You think about your plans. Riding in the mud is difficult. Apocalypse will have a rough time, especially on the unpaved grounds. It may be a good day to take a break at an inn. You hear a thunderous roar. You rise to your feet and rub the sleep from your eyes. The doors are opening. People are shouting orders and words of warnings. As you open the window, you see what's behind the commotion. Something is on the other side of the wall, trying to get through, and the guards are fighting it off with their torches, spears, and crossbows. Thanks to their light, you see the large furry paws placed on the top of the wall walk. As far as you can tell, the beast is but a single leap away from getting inside. They know what they are doing? It surely looks so. The guards are organized like a group of dancers, switching positions swiftly and using words that meant nothing to you. They pierce the creature's shell with their long weapons, and one of them does her best to chop through the furry paw with an axe. After maybe a minute, the beast gives up and takes its limp back to the group's cheerful laughter. That's the kind of skill I would expect from a team living in the middle of nowhere. They told me that I am not supposed to get in the way. Any leftovers? Meh. The armor is nowhere inside. Can I wash? Yes. But I'm hungry. How do I use my rations? You won't restore health while sleeping. Why can I not use my inventory right now? Okay, let's go here again. Travel. Here. I hope that the hunger doesn't stop me. Oh yeah, it's the fish trap. 3 fish! You pull the rope and see 3 flopping fish inside. You prepare your eggs, then open the lid and reach for your catch. You stun the animals one by one with 2 careful blows in the top of their heads, and then finish them off with a knife. Cutting underneath the gill plates, you spend another minute or 2 bleeding out the fish in the stream, then cover them with a waxed linen sheet. You should eat them soon before they spoil. I would love to. I set the trap again. You need to look for worms again, but at least sealing the lid takes only a minute. It's no problem. Fish? A dead raw fish, not worth much, but could be bartered for food or sold. Okay, the good thing is we want to bring him to the city, so there we can also barter the fish. Yes! The entrance to the hideout is open. You see scraps of metal organized in piles, while the old furniture has been dismantled into loose planks and pushed into corners. Hi, Roadster! The man looks tired and his beard is sticky, but he smiles at you. If you're ready, I will start packing the tent. If you don't want to wait, start putting the iron on your mount. It will be quicker. Just say the word and we can leave. I don't know. Pelt of the North? So the difference is, do you want to go here or do we want to go here? He wanted to go here. We told him here would be also fine, because he wants to go south, right? And I can remember that he was in the tavern up here. So the husband of the person who leads that city. And I can remember that the husband was not really happy about that man with the weird bird and the wounds on the face. So maybe he will not be really welcomed here. So bringing him to Pelt of the North would maybe help more. The scavengers keep asking you to watch out for beasts and wrap the sharper scraps of iron in his cape. Folding the tent and putting it on your horse takes a while, and neither of you can sit down on the large pile of sacks and bundles. There's a long walk ahead of you, but for Apocalypse it won't be much of a burden. Once you clear the room, you walk away. At first you hear only the birds and horseshoes. Then the man starts to whisper. Faster, aye! The apes are looking at us. You don't see any proof of that. Nothing we can do about it. I'll lead us to the southern gate. Apes? I didn't see any apes. You move forward, slowed down by having to secure the bundles on Apocalypse's back and carry your own bags. After half an hour, the man asks for a break. Even though you share your food with him, he's not fully recovered from days of hunger, but the farther away you get from the ruins, the more cheerful and talkative he gets, mostly speaking about what he needs to buy and how much he hated the damn place. Then the beast shows up. I prepare my eggs. A loud bunch of griffins blocks the road near a pond. For you, their colorful furs and feathers don't look much different than the pack you faced in the valley days ago. There's still some distance between you and them, but it could be crossed in less than a minute. So we are here and they are somewhere here. There are maybe 20 beasts inside, and this time they pay you much more attention. They spread their wings and start to screech, some making a few leaps forward. Your mount is too overloaded for you to turn away and get out of their range. Better to hold our ground, grounds the scavenger, preparing his crossbow and dagger. True, let's stay on the defense, but keep an eye on the horse. Quite the opposite. We should charge at them, yelling and swinging our weapons. Let's startle them. Let's focus on killing one of them as quickly as we can. Maybe the others will flee. What's your plan? Agnes, hi. How's you? How's work? How was work? I can remember that somebody told us once that if we get attacked we should run. Should we charge at them? Okay, let's stay on the defense. He nods and blocks the path between the beasts and your mount, then raises his loaded weapon, moving his aim between the approaching creatures. I don't have a crossbow. I stay close to the scavenger, making sure nothing jumps on our backs. I'll keep a bit of distance between us so we have enough space to fight. I stay still until a creature gets in my range, trying to surprise it. I stay close. He doesn't need a lot of space for a crossbow. Oh, I got dirty. Somehow I got dirty. Thank you for a second. Here's your nugget. Work was okay. Now it's time to go home, eat showers, and get ready for working at the union tomorrow. Oh yeah, Tuesday is union day. The man's arrow hits and stops one of the creatures, but it doesn't buy you much time. He realizes your plan and also gets closer to you. The semicircle of beaks and talons is hardly organized. One of the creatures simply leaps at you and the others follow. For the next minute you slice and dice whatever you can hit, filling the air with screeches and feathers. The sheer number of opponents overwhelms you more than once, and it's difficult to keep pushing them away with your free hand. Judging by the painful shouts, the scavenger is struggling, but is still alive. Finally, it all ends, though not because of a lack of opponents. The two creatures you bloodshot are on the ground, but the others, some of them hurt, have enough strength to run away. Their will is broken, yet the pack will go on, at least for some time. Your fine gambeson keeps you in one piece and is still in decent shape. The man spits on the ground. May apes and ibexes bang this place day after day. He leans forward, taking a few deep breaths, then look at you. Roadster, we are a fine team, he and I. He laughs briefly. Let me draw my ballista and we can move forward. Oh, my appearance. I just smile and try to ease Apocalypse's thoughts. It's better to keep moving. Ah, we are back. Okay, hydrate. Oh. It's empty. Listen. Thank you for the hydrate. The man's sleeve and stomach are soaked with blood, but he tells you to ignore it. Once you get close to Pelt, he whistles enthusiastically. You weren't kidding, I. What a fortress! The guards open the gate and take care of the scavenger's bundles with Apocalypse welcomes with a nicker. The man introduces himself quickly and asks to be brought some water from the well. Thank ye, Roaster. Roadster, I need to ask the innkeep if he has any soap. I'm not going to chop off my damn arm. He clicks his tongue. But like I told ye, if ye want ya coins, ye have to come back tomorrow when my pouch gets heavier. Bottle can and would prefer to give ye the potion that repels apemen instead. It's useful, but not as much in the south as it is here in the woods. Money or the jar? Sure, give me the jar. Ha, I'm glad. He unpacked a large jar made of clay. I'm not gonna lie, Roadster, It's pure troll urine, he chuckles. Don't ask me how I got it. If you want to scare off some apemen, use it before they see ya. Trolls eat them all the time, so they stay away from as long as they can. Okay, he imagines that you can feel warmth from the jar. Well, I won't miss it. I will be here for at least a couple of days. You will find me around if you need me. After all my recent camping, I'm going to spend a few hours kissing this nice, strong wall. He starts to laugh and walks away, waving goodbye. I pack the jar and make sure it won't spill in my bag. Hydration is important when playing this game. Hydration is overall important, especially if you talk a lot. You return to the courtyard. You hear the clicking of tools coming from the armorer workshop. Can I wash myself? I enter the inn. Do I have anything that you want to buy? Select an item you would like to offer. Different traders are interested in different goods. They will purchase only some of the things you have to sell, and their offer may vary. Don't put it in the counter if you may. He glanced at your catch. Then at the stove. My crew doesn't hunt for fish. The lakes and rivers are too far away, and they ain't trained with all the weaving worms and rods. Sell me 2 at once and I will give you a coin. I ain't wasting the firewood on just one. A coin for 2? Well, fine. You pull out some items, but the innkeeper shakes his head. I don't need those. Nor could I sell them to anyone. I would rather make coins than waste them, so bring me something of value. I have 1 coin. I need food. I would like to ask about someone. He sighs and looks out the window. Fine, you know what you are doing. Who are you wondering about? Oh, we could ask about that guy. So down here, the Elder's Cave. An old mine turned into a hamlet, protected by a metal door. The Elder? I don't know them. Okay. Hi, Roaster. Need anything? Enjoying your stay? Well, I have just arrived. I can tell ya more tomorrow when I spend a few hours on something soft. But damn, that smell around me is quite something, isn't it? I'm going to the well soon. Tell me about your travels? Ye must understand, ye are a roadster. People ask ye for help. They don't think ye will steal from them when they are in bed. He pats his back. It's not the same when you're a drifter. They don't ask me to stay, to marry their kids, or to help them with a harvest. They just ask if I plan to pay for the room or buy stuff. You talk for quite some time, though it's difficult to uncover the details hidden in his tale. He claims he and his pack bird came here by boat, about which he refuses to speak. He landed just next to the Gale Rocks, a large fishing village near the northern shore. People there were irritable and unwilling to idle chat with him, but opened their mouth after he helped them at the smokehouse. On sunny days, the local hunt on the shore, and when it gets dark, they hide behind the walls, guarding the fish. And when the weather goes to shit, they boil water for salt and put fish in it, then hop to the barrels, though I don't know how. They don't have many trees around. Then they sell the meat to the villages and places. He cleared his throat for crops. I was told to stay away from white marshes, though no shell told me why. I joined a group of fish traders who were going to Old Pegasus and its monastery, but I hate that place. Everyone does, he shrugs. I traded there for a bit, but the villagers are cold. They spend days praying and talking on and on about their duty and are grey like an ashworm. So I left once at dawn, me and my bird, and wasn't that a mistake? He was attacked by a short, bear-like creature. He tried to run away, but following his birds was a bad idea. He fell over in the thicket, so the monster had time to get to him. I hit it with a bolt, wasn't enough. I kicked it so it bite my leg, tears my flesh away. I almost dozed off from pain, but can ye believe it? That lazy bird came back and charged at it with its beak. His dagger was enough to get through the surprised animal's belly. It ran away. How did you survive with such deep wounds? The bird was patient. It let me lean on it. My ballista scared griffs away, and we got to Howler's Dell. That's where I found the elders. They agreed to heal me, but only for coins, and told me it's an exception. After a few questions, you are sure that by the elders he means the local druids, held by the villagers in great esteem. They didn't want to talk to me a whole lot, said I'm impudent. His tone is filled with mockery. You hear that? I spent time with Thais. At least she wasn't so boring. Adds in around 5 minutes. You ask him about her and he's more than happy to answer. She's the mayor, so to speak. Once ye get there, she will make sure to see ye. You will know it's her. She's short and her blonde hair is straight and long. She wears dresses and rogues her cheeks and roughes her cheeks like a merchant. He points at the scar on his own face, which doesn't help your imagination. She's not scary at all, at least as long as you don't ask about her wealth. Tell her a joke or two, drink some meat or play dice. Her laughter is something else. So why did you leave Howler's Dell alone? It wasn't smart to move to the ruins all by yourself. It's my trade. I shouldn't tell and I won't. You already know all that you need to. I go outside. I feel like my Gambison could use some adjustments. He nods enthusiastically, but then apologetically points behind him at a small box filled with basic tools. He ain't that experienced, says his assistant. We do this and that, but only the simple things. Okay. Yeah. We have 9 hours before dusk. Maybe. I ride through the open gates and swiftly dismount. Some of the locals greet you politely, but they keep their distance. Your clothes, torn and worn, make you look like a vagabond. I'm broke. My mount needs only some hay, water and peace. He scowls at you but points at an empty bucket and steps away. I fill this trough with water from the creek and make sure Apocalypse is comfortable. Yes. I keep a little bit of money I can keep. Ah, it's too late for work. Hey Bane, I need your service. The one more money that I have goes to the... I know the bed cost 2. Good luck. I thought maybe I can ask for like work. Should we try to go further? We have 6 more hours. So 3 hours I could go further and then 3 hours back. Let's go further, I guess. The road is beaten and free of litter. You notice paths between the fruit-bearing trees on your right, and soon after that you ride alongside vast fields of broad beans, almost ready for the second harvest of the summer. Then there are green hemp plants taller than you are, waiting for a scythe or sickle. The local keeps the beasts at a distance, I guess. Apocalypse hoofed trump 5 hours. Hoofs thump loudly on the beaten track. The green bushes, shrubs and trees prove that the soil here is fertile, yet the plants don't overgrow the road. These crossroads must be busy at times, maybe even patrolled. In the distant west you see the mountain peak dividing the lowlands from the ocean. The road east leads towards the hills, behind which there are unusual tall, dark trees. There's a dense forest in the north from which you hear the croaking of toads. The last pass is already known to you. You are surrounded by 4 signposts, all of which seem to be made from the same type of wood, now covered in moss and fungi. Yet the picture and letters that cover the nailed boards are nothing alike. We need to go north, I believe, because the other road warden was north. It's attached with nails made of pointy carved bones and divided into 3 sections covered with small engravings. The part of the left has 3 large squares with roof-like lines hanging above them. The other no other pictures or words, so a city. The one in the middle has only 1 square, but also a simple horizontal symbol of a fish and a short word beneath it, which you don't recognize. So a fishing village? The image on the right has 2 roofed squares, but also 2 other images, which you recognize easily, a deer and a standing barrel. So, I guess food and rest? Western? It has 2 planks attached to a single post, both of them nailed with rusty steel. The lower sign is divided in 2 halves. The left edge is engraved with 4 simple shapes, squares with roof-like lines hanging above them. The other edge bears 2 engraved piles, one of them made of horizontal rectangles, the other of inexact circles. You don't recognize the letters between those 2 piles. A pile of horizontal rectangles? Maybe mining? The upper plank is covered with 2 short words drawn in white paint, and right below them an engraved vertical rectangle with an hourglass inside it. Hi. East. Meh. The long plank, attached with rusted iron nails, is almost empty. It bears no words, only a single picture painted with great care. It portrays a city-like gate with a watchtower to its left and right, and a couple of small conifers growing besides and partially behind the tower. It covers with green, blue, and white paints. It portrays simple squares with roof-like lines hanging above them. Each square has a large letter inside it, though you don't recognize them. Nevertheless, the pictures are not too old. There are no other words or marks. The planks was attached with a set of wooden wedges. I search the area. The thicket doesn't help. You notice the remains of berries and pears, but most of them are already rotting, spread close to the wooden stools at the side of the road. The nearby creek is not impressively deep, but the beaver dam, for some reason taller than you are, make it wide and waters the surrounding soil. I heard someone spent all their money on getting clean. I spent all my money on a toothbrush set. Yes. I have still 1 coin, though. I earned that 1 coin back. After a minute or so, you confirm it's an abandoned sign, covered with green letters. Wait, a few steps away from the southern sign pole, you find something sticking out of the shrub. It's a moist plank covered by fungi. You try to move it with a stick and a gloved hand. After a minute or so, you confirm it's an abandoned sign, covered with green letters and colorful pictures of flowers and trees. Oh. I try to find out where did the old sign used to be attached to. The southern sign is the only one with holes left by nails. Oh, so that was the sign for this one. Oh, okay. Search some more. Okay, there's nothing more left. Okay, I know we need to go north, though. Some parts of the road lead uphill, some downhill. The forests are lush but not too dark. The few foraging deer and boars keep their distance, and the birds are interested in your presence, singing cheerfully and preening their feathers. Sounds of an ongoing hunt reaches you from the east, but none of the nearby creatures seem bothered. Once you get further north, the colorful meadow reveals tall hills on the other side of the stream, but the roads lead through a valley. There's a gentle plume of smoke coming from one of the mountains in the west. It doesn't look like a place is on fire. Maybe there's a settlement in the mountain. Okay, girls, dinner time. I made beef tacos. Nom, nom nom. Enjoy. Why do I hear, like, mosquitoes? Can I now eat? Wait, why do I still have a fish? I didn't know that I still have the fish. The road leads to a gentle creek, filled with the buzzing of flies, mosquitoes, and gnats. You don't spot any critters among the tall meadow tree branches or rocky slopes. Seeing the shapeless dark vortex of wings, Apocalypse snorts. You're currently on the Thousand Bank. We need to turn around soon if we want to be back in the city. The path is barely squeezed between the hills with no signs of settlement or game trails, and the grass is too tall and dense to allow you safely ride through the wilderness. You won't reach the other bank without entering the swarm. I'm not sure if a blazing torch will help. You move away from the creek, get on your feet and unpack the tinderbox, the wooden stave, and the set of racks, as well as the oil. After you assemble a torch, you sit down on the ground, preparing the flint and the linen char cloth. Decades ago, before the Thousand invasion, people used fire strikers made of thick steel, but all you have is a cube-like piece of harsh pirate. It's not ideal, but good enough for a couple of sparks. Holding the fire, you get back in the saddle. You swing your weapon left and right. There isn't as much smoke as you expected. Let's put it to the test. What? I just lost a heart for this. Once you get closer to the fort, countless creatures beset you, filling your eyes, mouth, and nose, hitting you like a squishy, buzzing hail. You ride forward blindly, instantly forgetting about your preparations, trying to get out of here as fast as you can, but the insects are sticking with you for much longer than the smoke. It takes a few minutes for you to escape. The red marks on your skin starts to burn. You get down to put out the torch by rubbing it against the beaten track. Apocalypse swishes its tail angrily as it gives you a reproachful look, pinning its ears back to its head. Unless you find an easier way to protect yourself, the insects will keep slowing you down. Well, that didn't help much. Wait, this only takes me 2 hours? Okay, then we can travel further. Pirate is also called fool's gold. Oh, cat gold. Yee. For most of the time, you're surrounded by yellow meadows. The trees on your left get sparser, while the few lonely birches on your right still bear the sign of tapping, marked with knife cuts, tied with cords. Some of them still carry wooden vessels, as if they were simply abandoned. Maybe last spring, maybe before that. A few of the trees are already dried out, and the winds managed to knock them down. As you get closer to the crossroad, the ground gets muddy. The beaten path avoids the wetland as much as it can. The screeches and hisses mix with the buzzing of insects, and as you reach a small pond, there are signs of blood on its bank. The air is moist and heavy, and has a hint of rotting meat to it. It may still be early, but it's better to avoid the bogs when nighttime approaches. Such places rarely have fine roads. The trees and bushes are sparse here, growing from the barren grassland. Some of them bear late summer fruits. Bogs are darker than forests. The local creatures start their hunt up to an hour early. Thank you. A group of wayfarers is spread around the broken signpost and the abandoned cart. They are skinny but healthy and are standing upright. They are wearing humble, dim gambeson on top of their hemp tunics and plants, all of them worn, in some cases undyed, while others are dark green or brown. Wayfarers, okay. 4 of these individuals wear cloaks, carry lit lanterns, and are armed with spears, bows and stone maces. On their neck, wrists, and belts, you spot small talisman, fangs, bones, wooden beads, leather straps. There's also the 5th figure, standing a bit in the back, with lowered shoulders. Unlike the others, they are hooded, and in such a manner that you don't doubt they can see anything other than their boots. Their clothes are shabby, torn, but your eyes mostly run to their club. A bogue as long as its owner is tall and as thick as a leg, wrestling with one end of the ground. You get closer, and a person raises the weapon with just one arm, but another traveler gestures for them to stop, and they do so right away, freezing in place. I stay in the saddle just in case. This fly really annoys me. The man behind the gesture doesn't approach you, just nods. Bogs aren't safe for us, bar even less a stranger. 'Tis even fall and far from roofs. Better keep moving, you will find an inn soon. You try to digest his thick accent. He's broad-shouldered with a large belly, but the scars on his face... Hi, Harkness. What are you calling for? Thank you for the Discord call. But the scars on his face sculpts an image of someone who's earned their share of food with many skirmishes. He doesn't reach for his weapon and pushes one of his companions closer to the cart. She kneels by an empty box and looks inside it. The man observes you with little curiosity, holding his lantern high in the air. Need any help? He makes an annoyed grimace. Not really. 'Tis timber's sickening, moldy and wet. We are checking on the place, but seems 'tis a bad year for it. He looks at his companions, who simply shrug and spread to take a look at the cart, all but the one with the board, who doesn't move an inch. I cannot say I have time to loaf. You have questions asked, but be quick. Don't put us to sleep. What's up with this one? He smiles, but you notice that the others keenly observe you. Nothing is up. They are keeping us safe. That's an impressive club. One of the men, now turning over a moldy plank with his boot, giggles. 'Tis one way to put it. They're pneuma strong. Is this your cart? In a way, my neighbor's, but then hear one of the women proudly claiming that it belongs to her uncle, but the man doesn't allow you to dig into this topic. We used to carry wood and plants from here to the village, but eventually there was not a thing to carry, and was left for another day. 'Tis trash now. What makes this place so special? It used to be a forest garden. My great-grandparents started it to harvest various fruits and sap from birches, but those were one days and other roads. These nothing if value left, and no time to strong folks to take care of the land. Jesus, that's really a heavy accent. Are you from around here? Very much so, and you are new to those roads. You know our home? No clue. White Marshes. Isn't the White Marshes the one with the necromancy? That would explain why the guy is so not responsive. 'Tis there, he looks at the crossroad leading east. An old place. Plenty of stories there, but they rarely reach the ears of strangers, especially these days. He then stretches out and gets closer to the signpost, using his spear as a walking stick. Well, stay safe, stranger. He raised his voice and addressed his companion. We wasted too much time on its fourth. Time to get back. The others prepare their own weapons and join their guide. The one with the board stays silent, until a gentle gesture commands them to follow. They keep up with the rest of the group, dragging the club behind themselves with remarkable strength. You see, that's why I think he might be dead, because he only moves after a sign. After a few more days, there may be fruits and other plants to pick here. We prepare for the journey. Oh, seek shelter? Here? No. And we are too far away. Okay. Let's go further. Then. You leave the wetland behind. The pebbled road runs through the hillside with tall grasses and rock faces above you, and dark, lush forests below. Chunks of this path were shaped by human tools, who knows how many centuries ago. To widen it, the builders dug through the uneven boulders and used rocks and logs to fill up the cavities with thousands of rocks, each one smaller than your fist. While you have a good view of what's happening between the trees, on your right the bushes and shrub grows so densely between them that you can't imagine entering these woods on your own. Farther south there are plumes of smoke. A settlement, most likely. South? Oh. The door's open. At the top of the hill you reach a stone wall, a quiet place with no smoke coming from behind it. You look inside and see the glimpse of a peaceful ruin. While the main road is beaten and easy for hooves to trot, the destroyed gate and the remains of the front yard have almost been reclaimed by the short grasses. You seek any suspicious movement, but the place seems to be free of inhabitants larger than a falcon. The air is fresh and the wind shakes the tree crowns gently. Crowns, yeah. Top of the tree. I enter the yard. I have 1 hour left. I just wanted to say blah, 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 blah. The hamlet could be a hunter's shelter, a military outpost, or the storehouse for traders, but you spot no fresh human trails. The damaged door and gate are years old, soggy and moldy, and judging by the squirrels, birds, and the animal faces you see in the grass, this place is but a part of the wilderness. The roof collapsed only a few years back, turning into food for mushrooms. The outer wall looks generations old, but it used to be maintained. Some of its materials came from different times and areas. Areas. Do we really have time right now to look at this? Oh, I hear music. The chaos sparks right after you approach the tree stump. The dusk fox's growls sound like a mix of an obnoxious bird and an infant. One of the animals, standing only a few feet away from you, is jumping and showcasing its tiny, sharp teeth and a raccoon-like black mask on its little head. The animal, with its thick, brownish-gray fur, seems more stout than any red fox. The second loud creature jumps onto a table made of a halved trunk. Unlike the first one, it has a brighter golden fur. It bends one of its forelegs, observing you with its dark eyes. Not furious nor scared, rather sad and protective. Its growl turns into a miserable whine. The beasts are not even waist high, but their number may be an issue. There's yet another sound coming from behind you, and even more from the bushes nearby. Can I just run? No time to wait. I kick one of them as quickly as I can. I need to block the charge. I raise my hand and prepare myself to strike back. I step away and try to count them. And I'm not good at this. You take a quick glance and evade the creature in front of you as it tried to bite your leg, but you then feel the bite on your calf. The third fox was standing right behind you while it's loud. It's also lumbering about, not trying to hold you in place. The noises from the bushes belong to little pups, most likely harmless, so they are doing their best to imitate the guardians. Since the one behind me already moved away, I run for it. You pass the weaker fox and run toward your belongings, encouraging the beasts to chase you all the way to the gates as they growl with determination. For now they stay in the shelter filled with pride. You and Apocalypse take a few steps away. This place was already abandoned, so I will let the Dusk Fox stay. They aren't threatening anyone. Are you sure you want to leave this place to its fate? Well, I cannot choose anything else. I cannot even choose to return later. I will just travel further without answering that question. You are filled with determination? I'm not sure. I was just ankle bitten. You are squeezed between the hills and the forest. The only large beast you spot is a single saurian basking on a boulder, lazily observing you from a safe distance. Your ears catch the howls coming from the north, long and loud, and as you keep an eye on the rock ledges, you almost miss the drastic shift in the landscape. The forest turns into a lake, and the few plants growing next to the road mostly bear fruit. The road is not as reliable here as it was in the hills. Parts of it are a bit muddy, and the puddle disturb your ride. Maybe the locals will maintain it before it gets swallowed by the lake. Maybe. I have no health, no food, and no appearance. The only thing I have is armor and pneuma. Are we sure I cannot eat my food? Oh. Thank you. Finally, I have some food. The deep, loud yells of howlers are piercing your ears, concealing any other sound in the area. They are sitting on branches and in the tall grass, not really trying to hide. The thick black and gold furs cover their entire shells, aside from the charcoal black face with roundish flat nose and white nostrils. The younger member of the pack are about the size of your mount's head, but the larger ones would be chest high if it wasn't for the fact they walk on all fours. Their long tails are like an additional arm, helping them climb, hang them from the branches, or hold food while they eat. Eat the toothpaste. No, you get sick from that. They aren't particularly muscular, but when they form their pink lips into the shape of a cup to release their howl, their mouths are so wide they could fit your entire arm inside. As you listen to the shouts, you reach for your head. You feel a weird itch, but somehow you can't scratch it. Keeping my distance, I take a look at the hide behind the boulder. Why would I do that? The white whitish rawhide covers the grass like a blanket, surrounded by paw prints. The howler don't wait for you to approach it. One of the larger ones jump on the ground, leaning on its hands and challenging you with its gaze. It has rather blunt teeth. Let's travel. There must be a city somewhere. Oh! The lakeside is filled with the chirping of cicadas and crickets, as well as the roaring of beasts from the northern hills. Farther down the road you see tall yellow grasses interwoven with flowers and bumblebees, while the peaceful water shines just as much as the wings of dragonflies. This road is often traveled, and the clatter of hooves carries far. Thanks to the vast field of view, the creatures hiding in the meadows are unlikely to jump on an animal as large as Apocalypse. In the distance you see a palisade and a large building set on the side of a crossroad. Once you get closer, you hear a conversation from behind the wall. Two men are arguing about if they really just heard a horse. Maybe they know some rumors. Maybe I can sleep here. Hello. Apocalypse carries you towards the open gate on its own, welcoming an opportunity to rest by pushing out the air loudly through its nostrils. A nearby wooden pen won't offer much space for a horse, but should be enough for grazing and a nap. As you dismount, two men get up from the front stairs. Their clean-shaven faces reveal that they are in their early 20s. The first one is taller than you, broad-shouldered and wear light brown pants and a darker jacket. Both of them made of leather. With an inviting smile, he gets up and moves to open the enclosure. His steps are heavy and slow, but every movement is marked with care, ensuring he won't knock down anything or anyone. The second man looks as different from his colleague as the sun from the moon. He's unusually short and wears a heavy cloak made of black fur, so large it could cover his entire shell. He opens the door of the building, hides his hand and peeks into the room. Foggy, his voice is shrill and unconcerned. A messenger, come. A messenger, come. I'm not a messenger. I take off some of my bundles, let my horse rest. A hanging barrel sways in the wind, marking the places as an inn or a tavern. Ah! A tavern. Good. That should mean I can wash and sleep. I need both. The building resembles a merchant's house from Hovleven, whitewashed and with oiled, elegant wooden beams. The fragile walls are high enough to avoid floods and snow, but you have no doubt that a troll or even a pebbler could easily break through them. The palisade is short, has hardly any support, and has no walkway for crossbowmen. Hardly enough for even a makeshift hamlet. Yet it's the open harbor that makes you unease. Aside from the fish, any creature, aquatic or not, could just walk into the yard, undisturbed. The path is covered with paw prints and claw marks. Better not leave Apocalypse outside during the night. A black and white bird swoops into the water, then flaps its wings and takes off with a silver, twitching creature in its talons. The large man clears his throat, and what have we here? Coming from afar? Friend, are there now horses and howlers. His voice is stentorian, close to a shout. You vaguely recognize his accent as one found at the city harbor. Far away indeed, you can't see it from here. He puts his hand to his forehead and pretends to look out for something above the lake. But I do see well enough. The city hides in your voice, a long way you head. You hear heavy footsteps. A woman shows up in the doorway and looks at you from the top of the stairs. She's even more towering and stout than her son, the man who just welcomed you, with a massive chest and a pear-shaped face with a prominent chin. Her movements are composed and confident. She may be older than 50, with a mixture of grey and dark blonde hair. She has only one arm, the left one, notably muscular and with a hand so large it could likely chop off Apocalypse's head with a single strike. I hope she doesn't do that, or crush yours like a berry. Though the slit of her robe, made of creamy worn fur, you put her trunk-like legs. You spot her trunk-like legs, okay. She runs her eyes over your blade, armor, and mount. Her lips form into something of a smile, distorted by the scar that runs through her mouth. The tall guy looks a lot like her. He spreads his arm, forming a chain between you and her. Meet Foggy, friend. Ma, the rider has come to us from Hovlevin, such long way. His powerful voice turns timid and he keeps turning his head from left to right and back. I bet you're hungry, aye? The woman looks at him with amusement, then glances at your palfrey. If you're after food, I hope you know how to hunt. The land here is barren for us, but it's a feast for boars, squirrel, and sparrows. She vaguely stretches out her only hand. What brings you to Foggy Lake, love? Just stopping by? Her voice is hoarse, like that of a traveler who's spent too many autumn nights in cold tents, yet carries a hint of motherly concern. I close the animal pen behind me and head towards the stairs. You won't find another shelter in this part of the Dragon Woods, especially not in creeks. See, she scratches her broad chin with sausage-like fingers. You drink? I make a single loud clap and rub my hands together. I wouldn't dare to insult your hospitality. I am good company. I shake my head gently. I don't, but go ahead, I will accompany you. I am not sure if I should be playful with her. Her son, yes. Her, I'm not sure. That's what I like to hear. Her brief, powerful laughter is enough to scare away the bird from above the lake. Your mount lets out a fearful snort. Let's not wait then. Come, dear, share a story with me and a mug. Without waiting for your response, she walks inside. The tall man takes a deep breath. Go ahead, we will take care of your horse. He encourages you with a gesture, and by that he means we won't do anything with it. Adds the man in black fur. Whenever his screechy words follow the deep voices of his companions, he sounds like a brat. We won't be feeding or washing beasts that aren't going in a stew, but we will keep an eye on it. They find new spots to rest, the side of a boat and a stool near the palisade. I ask them if they plan to join us. The large man chuckles. We don't have any guards, we need to stay sharp. No drinking, no leaving valued possessions behind. He nods towards your horse. We will feast in winter, when we get a break from this place. Okay. The narrow segmented window shutters let in a lot of light without letting the beasts inside. The air is humid, but carrying not a hint of putridity. The heels of Foggy's boots make her step thunder even though the planks don't creak. Make yourself at home, she says without looking at you, heading to the trap door in the corner. I will just grab a little something. Your ears catch the screeches of hunting birds and the wind that leaks in through the windows. But other than that, the room is quiet. I have the feeling going somewhere else without her around seems a little bit rude. But I guess we can investigate the main hall. The room is crammed with stuff. The bear pelt on the ground would be a nice resting spot, but the place doesn't look like a real home. No chests, no cabinets for clothes, no toys or tools for simple crafts that would fill the time during rainy evenings. Living with so many windows in winter would be a struggle. One could clear this place in one morning and move all that worth saving onto a single wagon. The only thing of exceptional value are the cauldron, made of pricey steel, and the hanging head of an insect-like monster. Its mandibles don't move, the dim eyes seem intact, and its armored head tells a long story of surviving through scratches and cuts. Apparently I can look around without any trouble. The meager lights hinders your view. There are dozens of barrels, sacks, stone tools, bowls, and pieces of roasted fish or bird meat. Foggy notices you but doesn't say anything. She looks for something among a bunch of bottles. There's a couple more animal trophies placed on the top of the barrels and leaning against the walls. Fangs, claws, monster heads, and a lizard skin. Quite a collection. And the ladder. You climb up the simple rope ladder and reaches the attics. It smells like a haystack. The floor is covered with animal furs, bags, and clothes. There's a soul sitting in a corner, a bearded man in his 20s who has only the right hand, though unlike the tavern keeper, he has kept the rest of his arm. His sleepy-eyed observes you without words. After he greets you with a nod, he starts to put on his boots. Why is there a guy in your attic? I sit down at the table and wait for the keeper to return. You take a glance at the blood on the table. The scattered yellow feathers and a bowl of guts and talons. Huh? Take a glance at the blood on the table. You find yourself a clean stool. Foggy shows up soon, smiling, holding 2 cups in her hands, a bottle in her fingers, and a cloth under her shoulder. She puts everything on a stool and wipes the table clean. Forgive the mess, just a part of the job. She explains without a hint of apologies. I would rather dress birds in the yard, but the blood lures beasts. Sometimes the folks from Creek brings us meals, but we need to take care of ourselves. She throws the bloody claws back into the bucket, making a splash, then sits down on a stool, making it look like it was made for a doll. She rests her elbow on the table and looks you in the eyes. Her voice is warm yet intrusive. So, who am I dealing with? I introduce myself. The bottle removes its seal seemingly by itself. The wax floats in the air briefly, then lands on the table gently. Without a word, she pours the thick liquid into the cups with her only hand, but doesn't offer you your drink just yet. I'm trying to learn more about the peninsula. A tavern seemed like a fair shot. She sighs and grabs her cup. It looks like she could crush it with just 2 fingers. I don't see how what's in it for me, dear. I'm sure you will find those who crave a pair of ears to fill it with gibberish, but I run this place to get more from it than I put into it. She places the second cup in front of you. It's made of dim brown wood, humble, wide, and short. Its surface is cold, rough, but elegant. In Havelin, such vessels are often ornamented with metalwork from bronze to gold and bear all sorts of carvings and pictures. Awkward. For now I don't say anything. Don't you care about getting a Roadwarden's good side? Well, that would depend. Are we speaking of one who's going to prove their worth and, let's say, truthfulness? Or is it just a monkey on a horse who asks left and right for a free meal? A sudden grin makes you flinch. The tails in this corner of the lands are as quick as a snail, but I have my ways of learning who makes waves around here. Why now? Go ahead, enjoy your drink. You raise the cup to your nose. You smell flowers, yeast and hops. The liquid is golden on the edges, but resemble red amber in the center. It's as thick as an herbal medicament. Medicament. You take a look at your companion, seeking a hint of what's expected of you. In some places, people gulp down their meat, but your vessel allows you to appreciate the aroma. The huge keeper smiles and takes a sip. You follow her lead, allowing the drink to pass your lips. It's warm, hiding none of its subtleties. Drinking meat is a never-ending conflict between holding the taste in your mouth and saving yourself from the tormenting sweetness of honey. That the flavor of flowers are just as present, too difficult to capture just yet. Foggy leans forward with an elbow resting on the table. Well, for me it's a lazy evening. At least the rains spare us, so nicely holding off till the evening. What brought you north? You don't look like someone who spends their life cleaning tables. Once you burn enough dead friends and relatives, clean tables start to look plenty tempting. She leans forward and takes another look at her bottle, sealing it with an approving nod. My ma and pa were both big and strong. One time they saw me sitting on this kid, twisting his arm, so they started to teach me. Staffed duels, running, lifting barrels and rocks. Thankfully, the army chieftain said I wasn't disciplined enough. She rubs the scars on her forehead, so I did a lot of thinking. Escorted some merchants, joined a group of adventurers, hunted for bounties, guarded a village temple. The last memory makes her voice gloomy. Not all of those things make me proud of myself. She smells the meat in her cup but doesn't take a sip. I moved here only after I lost my arm, when the folks were fleeing the invasion. I took my lion, a casket of dragons, and joined a more organized group. Arm or not, I still have a fierce punch. She lets out a pleasant grunt. I was worth keeping around. Her voice can't hide that she's delighted to carry on with her tale. Now that the years are catching up with me, and even more so with my back, I need to build myself a decent shelter. I crave no adventures, but I am happy to hear stories from other restless souls. In the meantime, I practice this little trick. She points at the cauldron in the middle of the room and starts to make circles with her fingers. The ladle mimics the movement, mixing the stew for another minute or two. That's also good for my back. Okay, rest for a little bit and shower, probably. Get your blanket. What's the story behind this place? It can't be more than a few years old. It's our third summer under the roof of Foggy Lake, but the palisade is older. Used to be a camping spot for the bird catcher from creeks, and there are fish there that don't swim in our streams. When we were but newcomers in the north, these lands were hard to bend, but the beasts got used to us with time. A melancholic crawl into her eyes. She observed the meat in her cup. Every year or so we added something new. The rocks for a campfire, some stools, a fence, a firewood shed, a boat. At one point we brought the lumber from White Marshes? Why is it turned around? And built a cabin like that one at the eastern road. More folk started resting here, even traders from Gale Rocks and Old Pegasus. A plenty fine spot for an inn, aye? Her smile is warm. I'm building my home from nothing, you could say, and not for the first time. How about you? Does any of it sound tempting? Back is hurting, wrist is blah. I deserve some cozy chaos time. Yes, and you deserve to finally rest your arm. Or your wrist better. Stop moving it. Take care of it. That's a dream, a place far away from Havlevin, somewhere where I can rest after a day of work without an aching back. My home is where I can find kind people. That's something I can ask myself after I have saved some dragon bones. It would be nice. You speak my own words, love, my own words. We have a good home here in the north, not a safe one, not a fun one, but there's plenty of food and plenty of things to build. I'm already luckier than most. She looks at the place where her missing arm used to be. How do you stay safe from the beast? You're completely open from the lake. Quick legs, love. Her brief yet thunderous laughter makes you flinch. We don't leave any food outside, but our cauldron smells. Every now and then something scary shows up. We lock ourselves in here for days if we have to. Our windows help us keep an eye on the yard, better than leaving the hamlet to goblins. You mention that having no wall from the lakeside is quite a risk. She nods in agreement and takes another sip. We don't bring children and old folks around, but this part of the peninsula is not so bad, at least in sunlight. Not much food growing or running around, unless you can live on fish and birds. And the folks of creeks are great hunters. The greatest around, but isn't there a harbor in the city as well? How do you keep the creatures away? Can't make me. Yeah, I can. Stop it. Stop it, or I will have to time you out in my stream. They are used to avoiding Havlevin. The guards and sailors make it too dangerous for them. They mostly stay in the water waiting for trash or drunkards to fall off a bridge. Every now and then something larger shows up between the boats or even enter the streets. People learn to run away and leave it to the soldiers, but from time to time there are casualties. It's actually the flying beast that bothers us. They stay in the water. Chilling. One day we had such a thing here during our first summer. 2 adventurers got drunk and went to watch the lake after dark. We will hide if anything shows up, they were saying. In the morning the water was red and their rags were covering the rocks. Any interesting beasts? Oh, I hunt for nothing, she smirks. Not since I lost my arm, and the boys outside are not made for it either. They have no drive to fight, you see, and grew up to be wimps. They sometimes club down a hare, but we are all about foraging and bird traps now. The folks in Creek do the real hunting, she adds after a pause. Runners, muffins, rats, sometimes a buffalo or a saurian. We have no soil for fields, so game meat is all we have left. She stretches out, getting even taller. Do you hunt often? If I'm about to starve, I don't enjoy killing. Sometimes I set up traps. I don't risk facing big game. In Hovlevin you won't find much game aside from rats and pigeons. I do. Making a monster bleed makes me feel alive. Traps, mostly. That's hardly a hunt, is it? She leans forward, chuckling. Picking up a dead bird from a loop is not the same as pushing away a warm corpse that was just pinning you down to the ground. She looks towards the open window shutter. Not the same, but probably smarter. A friend of mine was a real huntress for a year or so. Hi Luna, hi. Rude. I am caring for you. It's aggressive niceness. I don't want to learn about the foggy lake. Any story about your arm? She leans back, moving her shoulder and chest up and down as if she's having a soundless chuckle. Not one I'm going to share with a newcomer, dear. Stay alive until next autumn. I will open a cask of cold cider and tell you quite a tale. It has treason, treasure, monsters, and dark spells, but I am way too sober for it now. She grabs a cup, a wink turns into an awkward blink. So you can move things with your thoughts? She chuckles. Why, can't you? I know some tricks, but not that one. She pays great attention to the ways you have obtained your talisman and how they affect your spellcasting. In my family it was nothing like that, she says after a good couple of minutes. My grandparents used to be great mages, but not great enough to survive the plague. Her scarred lips form a grimace, and my ma got no talent from them. After a year of training... 5 minutes till Ed. I'm trying my best, I swear. Please, care for your arm. Otherwise you'll lose it like this woman. My grandparents, the plague, and my ma got no talent. After a year of training, she was hardly able to push a feather from a distance of a foot. I always knew I had a strong soul in my blood, but there was no soul there to teach me how to use it. She examines her cup. The handle stops moving. Now I try to figure it out all by myself, but without a teacher, I may not have enough summers left to become a master. What's going to happen next? Will you build a real wall? Ah yeah, true. I'm going to the physical therapist on Wednesday. Good. Good. Why not? Then grow my connections in the villages, buy more hard drinks, build another shed, a cabin even, and hire a private warden for those roads, for my guests. She sips from her cup, looking at you, but it's all in the distant future. We at Creeks need to take care of the eastern route, clear it for the traders. Without trade, all I have is the locals. And they don't even use dragon bones. But why do you care, dear? Are you planning to stay around? At least for a year. Or a few years. Her smile would suit a bear. If you know how to use that axe of yours, you will be more than welcomed. On this side of Hag Hills we need folks who can handle themselves, no matter if they are Roadwarden, mercenaries or guards, just not soldiers, she chuckles. You seem to be into some expensive drinks. The pricey ones are gifts I'd received or treasures I found when I was young. I also brought a few I like to offer something unusual to the wealthier or more promising guests. She tilts her cup. I dabbled with some recipes myself. I have plenty of brewing tools, though I can name myself half of them. Still, from ale to hard drinks, I had some successes. Okay, let's change the topic. Do you want some fish? You know we are by the lake, aye? She laughs, and gestures for you to take your catch away. There are fresh fish in creek, salty ones in galley rocks. Maybe try in the Ape Ale Inn, in Howlers, or in Pale of the North. Okay, I don't want to give you my my safety net. Could I spend a night or two under your roof? She approaches a window above the table and looks outside. Your beast won't make it easy for us, dear. She places her hand on the shutter. It's not a city inn. I don't cook for a smile. I don't work to feel noble. Allow folks to lie down there for free. She points to the bear fur with the broad chin. But that's about it. If your horse stays outside, it'll lure the beasts to us. But if we move it here, upstairs, I will leave it dropping on my floor. It'll leave its dropping on my floor. She gets annoyed even by the idea of it happening. If you want to rest here, love, be ready either to pay with a coin or some food rations, or to spend the night keeping your mount quiet. And clean after it in the morning, will you? Sure. Any interesting rumors? She nods. I know this and that. Which place? Oh boy. Okay, wait. Howlers there? Oh, Dell. What? Yeah. Well, that's a lot to say about Howlersdale, dear. Her eyes dart around, and you have to press her before she says anything of note. It's in the middle of the western road, among the safe land, and has a large forest garden. Its folk eat and dress well, and have plenty of guards, and the strong spells of the druids. She scratches her knee, measuring every word. Whatever you do, remember to laugh at the mayor's jokes. Her name's Thighs, don't get in her way. Her voice is as grim as her eyes are serious. You recall your memory of Thighs, a thin, smiling woman who likes expensive dresses. Foggies could squash her in a blink of an eye. How about, do you know anything about this guy? The Elder's Cave? Cave? Cave. There's a druid there in the old flooded mine. I don't know much about them. They keep close to Howlersdale, helping with animal and plants. Only 2 of them ever came to creeks. Soon after, we built our first palisade. My Illen was but a baby. You ask her what they said, and she puts her fist to her forehead. They had no guards, no weapons, not even a wolf. We're older than I am now, but we're walking down these roads as if they owned them, and came to warn us. The shamanic twaddle you can hear everywhere, that we are to stay humble and respect their woods. It's the same as it is with the priest of units, dear. You keep your eyes low, not without the words, and let them go and do your own thing. There were other places. White marshes. It's an old village, placed among the bogs in the west. Not so far from here, but the road there leads round the woods, so it takes a good while. She rubs her chin. I'm sure you already know about the Awoken I don't like what the folks there are doing, not one bit, but I can't blame them. They struggle and they don't know how to protect their kids, their elders. Orientius, their priest, she cracks her shoulders. A quiet man, but preaches like a zealot. Always looks like he's on the verge of crying. She opens the door with a wave of her hand, letting in some fresh air. She looks at the lake. They used to trade in lumber, those from marshes, until Howler's Dell started selling their own trees for better prices. The trade to marshes died, and so came the hunger. She looks at you with an unclear grimace on her lips. You may judge them, but at least their preacher gave them hope, even if it's tied to black magic. Oh. Do I look for work? She grins. I somehow doubt you are here to forage for me, love. Not that I have any room for another soul. Let me think. She runs her eyes over the shelves and the trophies, but it's the rock surrounding the fireplace that catches her attention. The folks on Old Pegasus are weirdly quiet. They were supposed to drop 2 wagons of rocks at my place. Can you check on them? Just find out if they are fine. Where is Old Pegasus again? You mentioned the payment. It won't take much work from a rider. You can get there and back in less than a day. Just ride west of here until the road takes you south, to the crossroads. Turn west again, and you will find the village. It will give you, let's say, a dragon bone. Wait, so you can get there and back in the west of here. So back here. And then south. To the cross here until the road takes you south. To the crossroads. Turn west again. So either here and then west? No, west again. So down here, this one, and then this way. Okay. What can you tell me about Old Pegasus? Wait. You say that it's not much, but she waves it off. A Roadwarden should get familiar with all the villages anyway, right? Just do it when you have a chance. I will have more coins for you once you prove you can be trusted with the simple tasks. It may be one of the oldest villages in the north, but even if not, it's safe with strong walls and safe roads. Their crops are weak, but for generations now they have been cutting stone and building for other tribes in exchange for supplies. Some time ago they tied themselves to the monks, and now they don't look kindly on those who don't follow the order of truth. She paused, twisting her lips to one side, choosing her words carefully. But they are plenty fine folks, true believers, something lost in the city. Not one to deal in slave trading and pillage. I will let you know if I learn anything. Now I want to sleep. Oh, I could rent the attic. I could get 2 hearts, but I lose a lot of magic. Why do I lose 1 heart when I sleep there? Ah. Fine. Give you my damn gold, woman. Chaos, I die. Why are you dying? Stop dying. The monstrous shouts wake you up. The night is bright, and from the window of the tavern you have a good look at the yard. A few massive dragonlings are exploring the courtyard, knocking over wooden tools with their tails, putting their noses into buckets and underneath the stairs. You count 5 of them so far, but you can't see the entire area at once. One of them spot your look and move closer. Still, it doesn't try to climb to the door. Maybe it's just experienced enough to know it won't get through. I close the shutter slowly. Huh? How is that working? How am I full? I thought I made like magic to get even more vitality. Instead I have full magic and full heart. How is that working? I don't understand. Oh. Me too. Me too. Horrible. But to be honest, yesterday was worse. Today is the 2nd day, so it's getting there. Harkness, get her a warm water bottle. And some chocolate. Or chocolate ice cream. Something sweet. Give her something sweet. Listening to the grunts of the annoyed apocalypse makes you feel uneasy, but at least the furs covering the floor are helping you relax. You don't even notice when it's already morning, and while the smell coming from the lower floor is not inviting, at least it's not you who has to take care of it. Foggy turns towards you and waits for you to speak. I look for Astarion. She looks at you for a longer moment without the slightest movement. And why do you think he's here? I'm not saying that I do, but maybe you know where I can find him. Ah, I misunderstood you. She shakes her head and leans on the table. I don't know his whereabouts, but he didn't tell me a thing more than I needed to hear. When was the last time you saw him? She glanced at the window, same as the others in the light days of spring. We were waiting for his return, me and all the villagers. Then moved on. I have no idea where he went. All of the villagers, you say? She turned towards you with the fierceness of a bear. That's what I said. Did he do any jobs for you? She pressed her tongue against her cheek and lips. Well, I'm not sure. He was bringing me news or delivering me messages. Sold me some stuff, sometimes bought a thing or two. His life wasn't really that riveting, just another mug guzzler sitting in the corner, patching his clothes. What can you tell me about him? She rests her only hand across her stomach, which you identify as her version of crossing her arms. A customer and an errand runner. What's there to say? Your additional question don't get many more answers. She brings up the man, looks, and equipment without adding much to what you have already learned from Tulia. He was paying with dragons, rarely bartered, she adds. That's what city folks do, seeking riches, then locking themselves in a chamber, prisoners of their might. Well said. Her chuckle makes you think of a wolf's growl. Did he sell you anything unusual? She stares at you without blinking. Such as what? Something that hints to where he went. Something he found in a weird place. Something useful, maybe I could buy it back. She frowns. I will tell you if I think of anything. You don't sound especially bothered by his departure. You see me as someone eager to make friends with a vagabond? I will take it as a compliment to my skills as a tavern keep. Folks come and go, their faces disappear, friends die in my arms. She pauses, families fade away. There was a different Roadwarden years ago, and there's another one now. But there's only one Foggy in the north, and one Ilden. That slow son of mine, and one Creeks. I have only so many tears to spare. Okay. Can I wash? Oh. You enter the bridge and move to its edge. Somewhere below you, you notice a glimmer. Hey you, step back, run! Okay. That was a dumb idea. Without even thinking, you leap towards the yard. A long, teeth-filled mouse breaks through the water surface, splashing it in every direction. It bites the empty place where you were just standing, while the front limb, thick scales and ending with claws are large as your fingers, land on the wood. Once the saurian's yellow eyes notice that you are outside of its reach, it nonchalantly slides into the lake. You hear laughter coming from the yard. The large forager, who's wearing leather, was running with help, but now stands with hands on his thighs, cackling without rest. The man in black fur, on the other hand, looks at you with worry. You see a hand kept beneath his cloak, as if he was reaching for something. What are you doing, I? The lake isn't for outsiders. I gasped for air and thanked them for the warning. I will stay away, don't you worry. Today is my first day and it was 5 days late. Oh, I hate it when they are late or early. He just nods and gestures for his companion to cut it. They both move towards the gate. Fine. No washing. So, she wanted me to go back and then here. Nope. Here. Damn it. You're not used to the scene of the box, but you weren't expecting them to be so gentle. The humid air makes you think of smoke, meat. And even though you ride by a few rotting carcasses and animal droppings, just as often you cross tiny meadows of pink, yellow and red flowers. The noises tell stories of a never-ending wars between the swarm of insects, frogs in the hideouts, snake lurking amongst the purple grasses, birds patrolling both the water and the sky, and the saurians preparing to strike from beneath the surface. You can't separate the sound of the living from those of the dying, if they are even different at all. You reach a boulder in the middle of the road, on the edge of a large pond. The road splits from here in two different directions, but the only smoke you see is in the southeast. From the saddle I see no creature standing in my way. Wait, we wanted to go here. You cross a clean, shallow, yet wide creek that runs south, then follow the uphill path, squeezing between the hills and the lush forest. You spend a good couple of minutes passing a haunting meadow filled with dozens, maybe 100 cut-down trees, now overgrown by bushes and grass. You can't think of another time when you have seen a clearing of such a size. Seems dangerous. If this goes on, the animals will join force to strike down whoever is responsible for this. The locals are surely ambitious. I wonder how far they can push it. Oh, so much text. Once the clearing ends and turns into a corridor of trees and hills, you stop your horse. There's a monster in the middle of the road, reaching out with its long arms and grab and devour fruits and leaves from tree crowns, chewing them without haste. It's standing on its hind legs and leaning on a thick tail. I will. Thank you, Carol. And an unshrimp. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. Thank you, Carol. As there isn't much hair on its grey skin, you see its impressive muscle. The beast is 3 times the size of a human, and while each move it makes is slow, its long claws and the ease with which it breaks one of the branches makes you think that a single swing would be enough for it to pierce through your jacket, or just as likely that it would simply break your bones and send you into the air. Like most people, you know quite a bit about pebblers. Once they get used to an unfenced farm or a forest garden, getting rid of them can be a huge issue. There aren't many blades able to cut through their thick skin and bones, and a single mistake may put them into a furious charge, encouraging them to look for human dwellings which they can tear down in revenge. The beast doesn't give you as much as a glance, but also doesn't move away. The best you can hope for is that it's getting to walk away on its own, maybe tomorrow, maybe later. Facing it in a fight would end up badly. I return to the crossroad. Aw, okay. Well, I cannot do what I wanted to do. I could return here and look if they give me more work. I offer my service to the guards? You will join a group of guards and druids in their search for useful herbs, ready to carry the elders on your palfrey to safety if needed. This task will take you about half a day and may get dangerous. And I get only one? I mean, I cannot even lose anymore. Sure. Yeah, well, I'm already dirty. It turns out you don't have much to do. You get your job done quickly and with little difficulty. Yes. How much time do I have? 6 hours? Let's go here and ask if he has... First of all, maybe I can wash myself. Yes. Do you have any food? Meh. Ah, yeah. 13. Only 3 hours left. Oh, what, I sleep here. Ooh. Oh yeah, I'm hungry, wait. Wait. Without rations I will not heal. That's a problem. See, now I can also heal. And I went 1. And then I have another full heart, should be what I get. As you prepare your belongings, you realize that the days are getting noticeably shorter. The closer you get to autumn, the less time you will have before the beasts of the night leave their lair. For now it won't be that bad, but I better make sure to not waste too many hours. You lose your senses right after you lie down. In the middle of the warm, stuffy night, you are entangled by your dreams. Too tired to fully wake up, too accustomed to having a mid-sleep break to just get back to sleep. You are between the realms, surrounded by visions so vivid you are tempted to reach out, touch them and stretch them out. They are your playground. Once I realize I'm in power, I do my best to enjoy myself. I fly, defeat dragons, eat and drink whatever I want. I wouldn't dare to disturb the nature flow of dreams. I accept them as they are, hoping to spot any visions they bring. No matter how much I try, my nightmares interfere with even the most joyful dreams. I wake up sweating, gasping for air. I try to break free of this state, thinking of all the things I was meant to do tonight. When I wake up, I'm still not sure if I did anything at all. No, let's let it be natural sleep. Leftovers? Yeah. Nom. I was planning to give it to the boar. Yes. Now give it to me. Hey. I wasn't that well in a long while. Now we could look if the monster is gone. The path is clear in a way. The peddler is nowhere in sight, but the road is covered with leaves and broken branches. The only fruit-bearing trees are growing right on the side of the road, surely planted there by humans. There are many more fruits and leaves the monster may chew on, so it may return any day now. If it craves what this place has to offer so much, I should just get rid of it. It's food. It may take me an hour or 2, but at least I will gather some fruits for myself. How much time do I have? 11 hours. Yeah, sure. It makes me dirty. You prepare all your tools, especially your thick protective gloves and teaser apocalypse to one of the younger trees. It's not an easy task. You spend more than an hour cutting down twigs, shaking off the fruits of the thinner branches, picking them by hand or hitting them with a stick. Your rope helps you stay secure, and the first few minutes of the climbing is closer to fun than work, but the longer it takes, the more tired you become. You finally take a break to eat a couple of plums and apples, but the best one you save for later, covering them with a blanket and putting it on the very top of your bundles. You are standing on the carpet of greens, browns, reds, and purples. You drag some of the thicker branches to the side to make riding forward easier, but the earthworms and boars are going to have a feast. Let's hope the proper pebble is quickly enough to ignore all the mess on the ground. Hope the pepper is picky enough. Okay. The corridor of pruned trees leads you to a steep ascent. Behind them grows a peaceful meadow filled with flowers and crickets and the humming of a waterfall. On the beaten path you spot no footprints or real trails, but there is smoke on the horizon. I dismount and lead Apocalypse on a rope. The pastures and fields are spread over an unnatural plateau. Humans must have been carving in the hill for generations, covering it with soil brought here in buckets and wagons. Among the weeds and tall grasses you spot rotting tools and a tunic. The pasture is overgrowing and so are the fields. Some of the oats are ready for harvest. Something is wrong. The locked gate is taller than a troll, and you can't imagine climbing up the massive wall for a moment. You follow the path to the edge of the cliff. The roaring ocean is more than 100 feet below you. You spot no one looking at you from the watchtower, no patrols of archers. The wall is occupied by black and blue birds of various types. You return to the gate and focus on the sounds. There are a few screaming ibexes. A young boy is crying. I knock at the door with the handle of my weapon. The thudding scares away the birds. They caw loudly, starting the cacophony of throats and flapping wings. After maybe a minute, you hear a bronze plate scratching against the wood as someone reveals the peephole. The strict female voice stops you from moving closer. Traveler, old Pegasus is secluding, for it has been smitten by a deadly plague. Be gone before you get sick. Huh. Do you need any help? I'm the new Roadwarden. No one can save us. You look into the young brown eyes that match the skin of the black-haired owner. While the woman looks like a southerner, she has a strong local accent. She follows you cautiously, without blinking, like a figure awaiting a strike. North from here, in the monastery, live masters of spell and potions, blessed people guided by the right themselves, and even they are powerless. You hear more footsteps gathering near the entrance. May them be blessed, for they look after our ill. The weak voice of an elder chips in. We thank ye, Warden, the woman continues. We can't know how many of us will see the winter. If ye really want to help us, warn the other tribes. They wouldn't move a finger for us, but we own to protect them. There must be something I can do. After she blinks, you catch the sadness in her eyes. I have heard such words more times than I can count. We have done all that we could. What's left is to ask to the right to ease our pain and wait. Can I ask you a few questions? Asked, but there's not much we can do for ye. We see no one, we travel nowhere. We were born on this hill, and we will die here. After a few breaths, her eyes get kinder. I'm Tertia. If ye bring any news, I will take them to our council. Tell me more about this illness. What does it do? She glances at someone or something that stands to her right. It lasts a long time. Even those who seem to avoid death remain weak for days. There are fevers, headaches, red faces, red eyes, and rash. Those whom he had to burn were sleeping and raving, unable to understand us, and got too weak to move or even drink. She looks down. Children and elderly suffer the most. Why don't you harvest your crops? Even though her cold gaze doesn't break, her voice betrays her pain. Some of our youth refuse to stay behind the walls. They say they need to leave before they fall sick. If we were to let them outside, one of them could refuse to come back. You frown. No, it wasn't pain what you have heard. It's shame. I'm looking for Asterion. You can't tell anything from her eyes. Isn't he dead? What makes you think that? I would say that about any traveler who disappeared in the wilds. Ones may know their roads, but they are not above humans. Don't you know the saying? Wait 2 days for the lost, 10 for the wounded, 20 for the ill and mad. I will don't wait for more. So you were waiting for him? That's not much of a secret. She looks to her right, then at you again. Head far east to the crossroad. Ye will find a watchtower, an old building made of our stone. You notice the pride in her voice, but hardly used since the war. Your friend wanted to turn it into a shelter, hire guards, patrol the roads. He took our key and rode away. He was meant to meet with us again, trade for materials and tools. Never happened. Ah, interesting. The watchtower then. Any idea who else could have such a key? Well, he is not my friend. Before it was completed, the builders were spending the rainy days in the coastal village in the far north. Gale Rocks, it's called. Ask there. Far north, okay. Which way would you take if you were to travel to the watchtower? The northern road, most likely. There are more tribes there, but the eastern road is dangerous, no matter from which way you're going to enter it. But if ye care about time, she hesitated, ye could check on the gate, though opening it on your own may not be easy. It used to be that our guards were keeping it open for the travelers, but the last one that we sent away, Quintus, is either dead or seeking refuge in another village. Still behind the gate you will find the shortcut. It's a dangerous path, but your palfrey may be just fast enough to get ye to the other end. Huh. You ask her what can she tell you about this gatekeeper, and she gives you a warm look. He may be not of the sharpest wits, but he's loyal to his duty and returns kindness with kindness, like we all should. Were you bothered by any bandits? Not in years, Warden. They did attack us on the road once before, but their little pack won't come here. At first her tone is gentle, but after she blinked twice it turned solemn. Or they would face our anger. Our wall fear only dragons. Our blades are made of steel. Do you have something to sell? We hardly have enough for ourselves. We used to get supplies for rocks and sculptures, but the monks advised us against it. Our wares may carry the illness. Yeah. Don't you want me to ask the other villagers for help? People from the other tribes are looking for spouses. I guess if they say, hey, we have a plague, maybe they do not send out people to marry someone. There's no love between us and them. We don't share drinks, stories, or dances. If it weren't for marriage, our children would never see each other, and if it wasn't for trade, we could just as well live on a mountain peak. They need our stone, we need fishes and salt from Gale Rocks, game meat from creeks, and grain from Howler's Dell, but all of them are harpies, led by greed and lust, the same ills that wounded our grandparents. She hesitated and looked to her left. Still, the wicked souls of white marshals are even more burrowed in shadows. Oh, sounds like you hold a grudge against them. She takes a deep breath. Yet I won't spread any rumors. As much as it saddens me, they need us to survive and we need them. And ye are even stranger to us than they are. Ah. People from the other tribes are looking for spouses. She blinks as if the question reaches her from another realm. We can't be sure of the next spring, even less so that our gates will ever open. I can't offer ye any promises for the tribes. Okay. I thought so. I bring news from old Pegasus. They are not good. Hey, money. Listening to your tale, she rubs her forehead. Well, not what I was hoping to hear. Laugh, but I'm glad you went there. Better warn the other settlements. Folks should know before they send their own messengers. It's going to be a rough few seasons for all of us. She pulls out a dragon bone from her pocket and tosses it in your direction. Here, good job. She steps towards the ajar door and looks at the lake. Want me to do anything else? She scratches the stump of her missing arm, her powerful voice carrying a hint of a threat. I need a soul who can handle a delicate task, and I am not sure if it's you, dear. She doesn't trust me enough. Okay, fine. Can I come here? I need to tell them that stuff is bad. Greetings, Roadwarden. What news do you bring? We gossip for a bit. Even though Howlersdale is a large village, the life here is slow. The curious locals gather around to take part in your conversation. Recently, the roaring of dragons gets louder every day, so maybe they are trying to overcome the local hunt queen. I do it myself, that's no problem for me. As long as I keep my money. The guard informs you that she needs to look for her, so you sit down on a bench and wait for what feels like an eternity. When Thais joins you, she apologizes for the wait, though her voice and eyes are harsh. I bring sad news from old Pegasus. The villagers were stricken by a plague. For a few breaths, she doesn't even blink. So close to us, a plague? How? She adjusts her cape and calls a guard with a gesture. Tell the others to gather by apple ale. She tells her, then looks back into your eyes. I will pass them the news once we are done here. We have closed the gates, maybe keep strangers away. She starts to tap on her dear buckle. At least we can make some preparation, thanks to you. Good wardening. She says with little conviction, but you should also speak with our druids. They may have more questions for you. The guards return and the mayor sends her away again. Warn Elpis, she must speak with Chaos soon. Elpis? Chaos, why I'm so tired today? Because you were at work. I guess. For me, it's the other way around. Now I'm awake till 7 instead of till 5. My schedule reset was not successful. I have made it to bed. Good. Stay there. What do you think about the scavenger who was here before? Ah, he's still alive, she says with distaste. He brought us some news from the north and paid off with his debt to us, but he's an idler and prattler. Drinks too. The further away he stays from here, the better. I bring news? The forest garden at the edge of the bogs is now mostly abandoned. I see, but that place is so far away from here we can't properly guard it. Not without a hamlet. I need to think if it's worth the effort. If it's worth the effort. She spares you a gentle nod. That's all I have to say. Oh, why do I lie? You messed it up more instant. More instead. What? What did I mess up? She leans forward, and even though she smiles, her voice is close to a whisper. I wonder, why are you here? What pushes someone to become a road warden? Ah. I just want to help people. She waits, expecting that there's more to be said, then lets out a nervous chuckle. Forgive me, it's something I mostly hear from children, not travelers. She observes you with keen eyes, but after another few breaths, shrugs her doubts off. What else do you need? No, nothing. Oh, yeah. Your sleep schedule. Yeah, I messed it up even more. Well, maybe if I can push it like every 2 hours. You know, a little bit further and a little bit further, again and again, maybe it will be normal at some point. Not that it helped, not that that worked last time I did that. We go to the druids. This time the tall druid gives you an encouraging nod. Even though he remains on a bench, he's huge. He would do well as a guard at a city alehouse. I walk further south to the spot where the new building is being built. You approach the building site. The stone foundations are finished, and the timber frame is joined together with a set of intriguing cuts, like a large toy. One day the walls will be whitewashed with limestone and turned into a prestigious shelter, unlike the houses made of logs and boards. The other buildings are surrounded by grass, flowers, and herbs. The turmoil of village life is drowned out by the sound of the creek, but the knocking of a hammer shatters this tranquility. The builders give you curious looks from above the log they are cutting. I walk past them and head to the druid. Anything to not go to the bed earlier, I hear. Well, the problem is, even though I go to bed at like midnight, 1, whatever, I am laying awake for hours. I cannot sleep. I tried. So, apparently I need to push the moment I'm sleepy. Somehow. Either further or back. Since back is quite hard to do, I will have to push the sleeping point further. You are welcomed by 8 elders gathered in a semicircle, watching your steps closely. They are not as large as the workers, and their clothes are far from humble. Interesting. Instead of the hemp pants or tunics, they wear colorful robes and dresses made of wool. They vary in style, length, and embellishment, separating them from the outfits of monks. You spot belt and cords, sandals, and closed shoes. One person is bald, one has silver hair long enough to cover her back like a cape. Most of the druids are clean and rested, though one is a bit of a sloven, with uncombed hair, stained clothes, and dusty feet. Also, unlike priests of Hovlevin, their hands are marked by scars, hard skin, old burns, and missing fingers. Still in silence, a woman with a staff steps forward. I take a closer look at her. Her grey robe is decorated with a brown thread that portrays leaves, tree branches, and birds. She's over 50, but the youngest one of them all. Her back is straight, the grey hair only an inch long. She doesn't need a walking stick. Her weapon is smooth, longer than she is tall. Her blue eyes are vigilant and keenly observe your face, as if in search of venom in your nose and lips. Her lips are thin and small, formed into an austere line that shakes slightly, as if she's on the brink of a burst of anger. She says nothing. I'm honored to meet you. I'm guessing... Well, I guess I bow my head and wait for her to speak first. Seems even better than speaking first, you know? After many long breaths, she moves closer, her steps and smiles gentle. Yes, she smiles. She smells of fresh thyme, but there's an unfamiliar hint to it. Her 3 fingers reach for your chest. But don't touch it. Let me see your face, traveler. You straighten up. Her smile is polite and vague, but her eyes, which now seem a bit brighter than they were just a moment ago, are warm. Your arrival is welcomed by us. Eva thought the arrival may open the flood of change. Share with us your thoughts, and we will share ours with you. Her words are slow and soft, as if she is delighted by their taste. Thai thinks you should know about the plague that has fallen upon old Pegasus. You tell her what you have learned at the village gate, making her lean on her staff, touching it with her cheek. We can help with this tragedy. The people of old Pegasus are our friends, and we will risk our lives for theirs. She turns towards the rest of her gathering. After their nods, she makes a deep breath. As she speaks, she looks at the ground. Travel south to the great healer who lives in a cave, beyond the behold. The spirit that guides us through the swamp, only he may find a way. I try to hide my annoyance that these drones are both selfish and useless. Thanks, I will see what he has to say. The druids give you curious glances but say nothing. Have you ever met Asterion? Nay, seeing that you wait for more detailed answer, she taps her fingers on her staff. We had nay reason to talk with him. Fair. Do I look for a healer? Not really. Tell me about your faith. She tilts her head to the right and looks directly into your eyes. What do you want to know? I would like to hear your teaching. I have the feeling there will be a long text behind this one. Oh no! Give away what you can, take only what you need. From your soul, from the soil, from the fellowship of humans. You will leave behind only ashes. Accept it and grow in peace. She ends with a kind smile. If you think 'tis nie much, you're right. If you think any soul has enough years to follow with this path fully, your soul is already beset by thorns. Wait, what? Here it is a lie? Oh, no. In my home, our elders taught us the same thing, and I believe they are right. Why is this one a lie and this one is not a lie? She raised her left hand. Hey, I got healed. I believe my heart was already full. And touched your cheek gently. At first you feel the warmth of her skin, then you lose track of time as if her blue eyes have thrown you into a deep lake. When you shake this feeling off, you feel refreshed. I think I was already full with my health. Some soap would be nice though. Thank you. She observed you with a modest, kind smile. It's so much. What does it mean to be a druid? To be worth of trust. Our elders have to trust that we will master our shells under their guidance and use them to strengthen all of us. Our neighbors have to trust that we are worth of their food. Even if we do knee work with our hands, the creatures need to trust that we deserve to enter their woods. She observed you for a bit and her fingers tap on her staff. This trust would never be put in an outsider, even if he's strong pneuma in them. Rights followers have their tablets? How are you? For a moment you think she's not sure how to answer, but you then realize that she's humming to herself silently. She raises her hand and gesture for you to look around. The world of our ancestors was neither the same as the one we see. They had their truths, we have ours. Stories come from humans. The animals think nothing of them, yet prosper. How do you feel about other religions? We do have to feel about them. If they let us live, we will strike first. A preacher was here once, when I was but a teen. Her eyes get a bit more cloudy. I see that one could take the tablets and grow upon them, but the rites burn the freedom of others, and their followers build their grey, deed temples from the skulls of those who do listen. We request trust, slavery. Okay, let's change the topic. It's too religious for me. What's your stance on necromancy? She grabs the staff with both hands. The awoken spit onto the order of things, on time and nature. When held by human spells, they only grow, waiting for the pneuma of corruption to cover their bones. Their will is simple and will never be forgotten. They will hunt for those we care for, and they will drink their blood. Her face hides an emotion. Her voice is monotonous, but her fingers are getting pale. The curse of necromancy does enter our gathering. Okay, thanks. You are wandering through the village. A young woman is chasing after a loose chicken, embarrassed by the giggling by bystanders. A field worker walks by you, coughing loudly as he tries to open his water skin. Going to save. And then we will wait out. Whee! Our 3 hours are over and my voice needs a break. I wonder how some people do it, like streams where you read something or just yapping, just yapping for hours. I don't understand it. I have for you Jay with Fallout New Vegas, or I have Elle with Hollow Knight Silksong. Where do you want to go? I will just guess that you want to go to Elle. I'm guessing Hognus is still in shower and I don't know if Carol is maybe asleep. And most others are lurkers, and I respect that. Also, I do like Hollow Knight, so... Here's a raid message if anyone wants or needs. Okay. So next, on Tuesday we play Dragon Age 2. On Wednesday is the Clock again. On Thursday is Moonstone Island, and on Friday we start with Rusty Lake. It's a series of games, so the first game might call like Rusty Lake 1 and so on. but I will just call them all Rusty Lake. Also, I still haven't got a phone call for my maybe future job. So if they call and I have to go talk to them in interview, my schedule will change, maybe. You know, depends how I feel in the evening then, okay? So if something suddenly changes, I will tell you most likely on Discord. Here's my Discord. Otherwise, just don't be surprised when I'm not online suddenly, okay? Thank you for coming by. Thank you for lurking. Thank you for chatting. Have a good night or a good evening and a good time zone. And bye-bye. Bye.